Shumai, and welcome to Two Welsh Dads, the podcast where two proud Welsh fathers talk life, parenting, and everything in between. I'm Stefan, and I'm joined by my fellow dad and friend, Glyn. This is our 13th episode, so grab a cuppa and join us as we share who we are, why we're doing this, and what you can expect from the journey ahead. Shumai, Glyn.
Shumai, Stefan. How's it going?
Shumai, I'm good. I'm okay. Yes, feeling good. Thank you. How are you? How is everything? I like the tea approach today.
Thank you very much. I am back up in Scotland for work, so I've got a little tea to keep me warm because probably shouldn't have
I've
a
got a
wee dram
brew.
of whiskey.
A brew.
A brew, but not an iron brew.
Uh, I thought today maybe we could have a little chat about making friends and specifically making friends over the age of 30. How does that sound?
Are we talking like cougars?
Kukas? What's kukas?
Cougars, which is what popped into my mind this evening.
Not sure.
Cougars, making friends with older ladies.
Yeah. Oh, cougars. I'm sorry. Sorry, it glitched
Cougars.
on me a bit. The screen. I couldn't
It did
quite
look a
hear
bit
you.
glitchy again.
Okay.
We did well for the first 10 episodes. Now we're just glitchy, glitchy, glitchy.
Well, I thought we did, didn't we? We're hitting it. Yeah, I know. But that's okay. I think it's okay now. I thought we could start with a mindful moment too. So I'm going to invite everyone, wherever you are, to take a moment right now just to breathe. So inhale through your nose, hold it for a second, exhale slowly. Notice the space around you, the quiet moments between your thoughts. We spend so much time doing things, working, pushing, providing, that we forget just to be. In that stillness, think about the people who've walked beside you at different times in your life. Some are still close, some drift away, some you haven't spoken to in years. And that's okay. Life changes, but connections don't have to end. Sometimes it just waits for you to notice it again. So as you listen today, stay open. Maybe there's someone out there waiting for you to send that first message. Slowly through the nose. How are you feeling? Chilled?
Yeah. Yeah, nice. Very nice. I was
You,
I went on a little bit of a breathed, and then you did good
I
to
told you
make
what's
me
good.
think. And then people did start popping into my head. I was like,
Did
oh,
they?
yeah.
Okay.
Like people who gone, friendships
Who?
lost,
Any particular
friendships.
people? Yeah.
Mainly the ones that
Change?
are like gone are just school. So many
Cool.
popped into my head at school. I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, I wonder what they're up to.
Yeah, I do know. Yeah. What are they up to?
I wonder what they're
Yeah.
up to. And then
Do you speak to anyone from school these days?
anyone from school? Yeah, a few. Few.
Do you? Probably better
Yeah.
than me then. I only speak
Yeah,
to
probably
yeah, very, very few people. People from my village. That's about it.
only the people in my village do I talk to.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. Well,
Sometimes
so
I
you
do
strike
like
me.
that. Not sometimes I
Hmm?
do like that.
So, Glenn, you strike me as a person who's really, really friendly, and you strike me as the type of person that would make friends with people quite easily. So, I wouldn't have assumed that making friends after the age of 30 would be an issue for you. Is that
So
right?
that is correct on the whole.
Yeah.
However, there's definitely been parts of my life that finding friends, feeling isolated have
Really?
been very true.
Aw,
So
did
even though
not know
you
that.
like still got friends,
Mm.
basically the two times I've lived outside Wales, those
Yeah.
when I lived in Cambridge for 9 months. That was very, um, very
Isolating.
different. Yeah, very isolating. Um, it
Did you
was
make friends over there?
no.
No, no, no,
I do.
no.
There was one person I kept in contact with, and I get a text message every now and again, um, because she was really cool. But other than
That's
that,
nobody.
no, not really
No.
friends. Um,
Yeah, I get it. It is incredibly hard.
it is, and like most adult friendships that came into mind, and then obviously when I lived in Scotland, is I probably put them in the
Really?
acquaintances and a couple of good friends,
Yeah, that's what I
but
would say. That's totally what I would say. There's a lot of
yeah,
people that I'd put in the acquaintance sort of category. Wouldn't call them friends. But do you think that's up to us to try and push to make it into, friendship?
it's a bit like a relationship, really, isn't it? Like you got to put
Yeah,
yourself out there, and then sometimes it's
sometimes it works.
reciprocal, but reciprocal is the key thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Consent and consent.
consent. Consent is a good one. Good word. Yeah, totally, totally.
Uh,
Sometimes I feel like everybody's so busy as well,
yeah,
especially getting on in life, people have families and other commitments and stuff. And, making that time to have that reciprocal
yeah,
sort of relationship is very hard. So
yeah. I've met
I
loads of
totally get
cool
it.
people that I'd love
Yeah,
to have made friends, but the second time, as you say in that, becoming a parent with other parents,
yeah,
is that even
yeah.
possible?
I don't know. I don't think it is. I
Unless you
don't
knew
think it
them
is.
beforehand. I
Yeah,
don't.
I think
I, I don't know. Have you pulled it off?
have I pulled it off? I've got a cat meowing at my door. Maybe I should just let this kitty cat in.
Is that the friend?
Yeah. There you go, Buzz. So, right. So, have I made a friendship recently? No,
Yeah,
not particularly. I
specifically
would
with
say
a parent,
with a parent.
another parent.
Yeah,
Is it possible to make a proper friendship
proper
with
friendship.
another
Okay, well,
parent if you didn't know them before?
um, it's really hard. I think it's doable. I see a lot of men. Sometimes when I
Yeah,
drop off my children, and there's very little talking. I don't know. There's the all right, and there's the friendly nod, but it's. I wouldn't say it's tricky. It's tricky, isn't it? I feel
yeah,
awkward more than anything. I feel like, oh man, it's in a really hard setting talking to people. It's not like a nightclub when you're already drunk. You're in a responsible place where you've got to act responsibly, and you don't want to put yourself out there in case you look like a fool. And all these thoughts are going through your mind, and yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. But to answer your question, is it possible? Yeah, totally, totally.
yeah,
Again, it goes back to you've got to make that first effort because I find my wife, she tends to make friends pretty quickly, especially with other mothers.
yeah.
I don't know whether that's a female thing or what have you. They seem to do it quite easily. Have you noticed that?
Well, two things that popped into my head. First of all, is you said that it's really hard to like act yourself in like picking up from school, but you actually inspired me when
What?
back in an episode where you were dancing at some kid's birthday with your daughter, and I was like, if
No.
Stefan can act stupid and be himself, then so can I. So
Cheers.
probably in the last month, I tend to skip, like full on skip like a
Do
lunatic into
you?
school because my kids
Oh,
love it, and it's like a little bit of burst of energy for all of us.
that's
So I
cool.
love that. So I do act a bit
That's
stupid
fun.
now. Not that I've
Yeah.
made any friends, but I do act stupid.
Oh, well, that's good. That is good.
So you inspired me.
That's, thank you. Well, that's good to hear.
Be
That is good to hear.
yourself. Be
Be
yourself.
yourself. Yeah, okay. So I think it is doable, but yeah, it's tricky. It's hard.
The other thing that popped in my head was you said there were other dads or men there, and God, they're rare.
Okay.
They're much rarer than mums doing the school drop off and pick up.
I think so. I find as well men often bond by doing and not talking. So without shared activities. it could be trickier, and the connection fades. So, for example, we used to go to the gym quite often
True.
back in the day. It was a shared activity.
Is this now a
We
new
did a lot
shared
of things.
activity?
Yeah, I think so.
Podcasting.
Well,
We've
2025
replaced gains with talking.
mental games. Oh, I think that's a thing. That's totally a thing.
Uh,
Yeah, mental
mental
games.
gains.
Hmm. I think there's a fear of vulnerability as well. Reaching out or being the first one to talk can feel awkward and needy as well. Do you think?
Yeah. Do you, well,
Yeah,
I feel like capacity is also an issue of like time in the day to fit it all in and also try and attempt to maintain. So is one of my colleagues who doesn't have kids and is getting near
yeah.
retirement. She said she remembers all of her friends disappearing, and then in the last 5, 10 years, they've all just suddenly reappeared because it's like you commit
Really?
so much time,
Hmm.
effort, energy to
Ah,
children that that also
see.
is like it's just part of that package, isn't there? That you just
Yeah,
naturally do
you do.
want to spend more time with them, and then
I get
even
it.
just maintaining old friendships is hard, let alone starting new ones.
Did you know that having close friends help regulate stress and keeps perspectives during tough times?
Mm,
I think that's pretty true. Loneliness is quite prevalent, and I think it's only
yeah.
gonna, well, probably getting worse now with the digital age where people are on social media and they're not really connecting with others. So, actually talking to people, it's needed. It's
Do you
important to
feel
do as
lonely
well.
or have felt lonely?
Have I felt lonely?
Yeah.
Um, well, not particularly, no. But then again, I've got a family quite
Ever?
close. Do I feel lonely? Do I
Like
feel lonely?
ever?
Yeah, yeah, I have done.
Isolated, lonely.
Isolated. Um, yeah, maybe in the past. In the past, I guess. Can't think of any specific times. Yeah, I remember working for the job center. That was quite a lonely place. It
Mm,
was so busy there. You just basically stuck on a desk and you couldn't really move or talk to any of your colleagues. And yeah, it was a bit isolating.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I
I
definitely
hear you.
felt it. Definitely felt it. But I feel like if I did feel particularly lonely, I would naturally go and talk to people. I'd
Yeah.
get bored, I think. I would get bored and I would naturally gravitate to other people fairly similar ages. I think yeah, I'm fortunate enough to be able to do that. I know certain people might not be able to
Mm.
spark up conversations quite so simply. But yeah, I've never felt particularly lonely.
So if you felt lonely, you've gone, right, I'm gonna just go and talk to some people.
Yeah, kind of, pretty much.
Or
I'd
do
be
you like go
bored.
after your family or friends?
Yeah, family first, probably.
Yeah.
Family first. But do you find at the point for like now you're too busy to be lonely?
No. Well, yes, now, but
Yeah,
if I'm thinking about parenthood when in Scotland. So this is the thing, friends probably had, but what we lacked was community. Does that make
yeah,
sense? You
that
know,
does make sense.
like we probably had friends that we could like talk to and meet up with, but
Yeah,
when the chips were down, there was no one really that would
lift you up.
be there like no matter
Yeah,
what. And it's not like we needed that, but just that feeling of, like family gives you, and also
yeah, yeah.
community that is
That's a
deeper
great
than
point.
because
Friendships.
community also doesn't have to be your friends, but you know they're there, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like a neighbor, or whatever that you
got your
like.
back.
I don't like him, but I know he's there and he'd answer the door and help me, sort of thing.
Yeah, oh, that's a good point. It's quite interesting as well. I
Yeah.
guess that's why. That's why certain people go into sort of gangs or football hooliganism because they get that sense of community and
community.
brotherhood and camaraderie from
Yeah.
their fellow friends. So
Well,
yeah, I
yeah, and
get
they're
it.
probably not friends. They're probably just like a
Do you think they
community.
probably hate each other secretly deep down, but they're so
Um,
influenced?
well, if you ever like, I think we've all got those community members that are either part of our village or part of a club or something that you know they're still part of your community, but you don't particularly like them. Or maybe it's even colleagues. Like we've all got them there. We know they're
Yeah,
there and they're part of the tapestry, but they're not friends.
yeah, yeah, true. I get it. Hmm, nice.
Do you have any success stories of making friends in your post 30s?
In my post studies,
Post 30s.
oh,
Wasn't
post
that their
30s,
initial thing? Yeah, post
yeah,
30s or as a
post
father
30s.
or whatever.
Um, whatever it was.
Inclusive of younger
Well,
fathers as well, if they're
I,
listening.
well, I'll be honest. I don't think so. Nothing I would consider a close friend. I
Yeah.
would say it's probably more acquaintances than
Mm,
anything. Work friends as well.
yeah.
I would probably class them as acquaintances too. Nobody that I'd hang around with. That being said, I do go to the gym with somebody quite close who lives just
Yeah.
down the road, Dave, and yeah, become fairly chummy with him and the neighbors as well here where I live. Really nice people, get along and do things with those guys. So yeah, I would say yes, I have, and it ties in really nicely to that community feeling because I do feel like they are there, and that's one thing I've got to say about this area that I live in. It has got a incredibly, really good community spirit. I think I
It's
think that
nice.
comes with a certain level of poverty where people
Yeah.
need to band together and work
Mm.
together as a team. Because I've noticed the primary school that my children go to, such a good community vibe there. I've never seen anything like it. You know,
Mm.
I've been to other schools in Cardiff, and you don't get the same vibe. You don't get the friendliness that I've noticed in the school that my children go to. Completely different. And maybe I haven't really seen these other schools. I'm sure there's plenty of schools out there with good community spirit. But yeah, I think the poorer the area, the better community spirit there is.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Because
Yeah.
you've got to. It
You gotta
helps.
stick
Yeah,
together.
you've got to help each other. You've got to.
Yeah.
What about you?
I,
Have you got any post 30 success stories?
um, yeah, I got a couple. I got a couple. And I think mine is surround
Friends.
mine surround yourself with people that you wanna hang out with. So like if you find
Nice.
someone that you really admire or just have like a good feeling, good energy, then 100% there's people that I now consider close friends.
Nice. That's
Even
good.
though like probably amount of times I've hung out with them,
Yeah, I know.
but like their spirit, their energy,
It's the
I just
energy, I think.
love. Yeah,
Yeah, it's quite infectious. Some people with good energy, you do tend to
yeah.
gravitate around them. And yeah, you don't want to be hanging around with any miserable people, you know?
No, is it, well, we've spoken about this before. Laughter's infectious, isn't it? So
It is.
we are like at the essence evolved from animals, pack animals,
Laughing animals?
community driven, party
Yes,
animals.
laughing.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So, if someone, if it's sad, that is infectious and it's
Hmm,
really hard. Obviously, I'm not saying you can't hold space for that, but it is you want to you want to surround yourself with like-minded people, people that you
you
want
do.
to be like, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
that brings me on to a nice point that Marilyn Manson said. Do you know Marilyn Manson?
Marilyn Manson, yeah, go on, give us a
Yeah.
quote. Is he one of your mates?
Well, no, no.
What am
Marilyn.
one of my
Well,
good
anyway,
friends when I was talking to Marilyn.
he said that one of the best pieces of advice that he ever had was to stay away from bad people. And what he meant by that was back in the day when he was incredibly famous and popular, he'd be
Yeah.
surrounded by people who'd offer him all sorts of drugs and
Mm,
illegal things. Staying away from those bad people, keeping them out of your circle, vital, because that's
yeah.
just going to drag you down and it's going to make life much, much harder and worse. So I think that's pretty good advice by E old Marilyn.
Yeah.
Do you have any good advices there?
No, I like that.
You're packed full of wisdom.
Yeah. It's
Because I remember friends growing up in school
yeah.
who were somewhat into the wacky backy. And I'm just looking back and I'm trying to think, what are they up to with their lives now? What
Mm,
are they doing? Because I can't imagine, I'm not sure if they've done anything with their lives. So yeah, it's a dangerous road to go down. So I'm very
mm.
glad that
You
that
found
piece of
me.
advice that Marilyn Manson did say found you, kept me on the straight and narrow. No, that's true. You probably did help a lot. I'd be an alcoholic if it
Oh,
wasn't for Glyn.
I don't know about that. I'm not the
Wait a
best
second.
influence on that topic.
Probably, yeah, yeah, true. Probably a bad influence, if anything. Do some more shots, Steph. It'll be funny. Legend. Yeah, nice.
Um, yeah, making friends now
What have you been
is
up to this week
possible.
then?
Is there a delay?
Hmm. Is that maybe? Yeah, possibly.
Maybe. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, just to recap, I think it is totally possible to make friends. But I think the biggest thing is one, you, as you said, mental health. You need community. You don't want to feel isolated, loneliness. So if you do feel
Mm,
those feelings, then it's about gaining courage to put yourself out there
yeah, that's
and try
a
different
good point.
things
Have
until you
you?
find your people.
Ooh, what about if you're stuck in a situation where you're around somebody who's very negative, very loud, and very um, almost absorbing of energy, if that makes any sense? Have you ever had to be in that situation where there's no way out and you've got to somewhat be civil and kind to this person that's caused?
Yep,
Yeah, I'm
yep,
sure it happens to us all. There's no way around that. And I think that's a learning curve in itself, how to deal with people, how to communicate well without coming across rude or arrogant.
mm,
But that being said, I think people should also stand up for themselves and not get taken advantage of slash bullied. So
true.
put that in your like, yeah, it
Two
happens.
two different types of people jumped into my mind then, which was like, uh, so
Dish dish.
there was a great program, Into the Shadows on Netflix.
What we do in the shadows?
Maybe
It's
with
about
the energy
vampires.
vampires. Yeah, yeah, the vampires.
Yeah, yeah,
Have you
totally.
watched it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
have. It's really
love
good.
Colin, the energy
Colin, I know
vampire.
Colin.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, totally,
just went.
totally. Yeah, in one episode he gets loads of energy from people and his hair grows back and yeah,
That's
he
it.
looks good. He's flying around the office, living the best life. Yeah, Colin.
So that's
I think there's
without
probably
giving
any.
names to my own personal experiences. We've all met a Colin,
Yeah, we have
Colin
Colin the
from
vampire.
accounts.
Colin from accounts. I like Nadia. Nadia's
Roger,
cool.
yeah. What's the
Yeah.
big guy?
And the little
They're all pretty cool, to be fair. I've
um
forgotten their names now, but yeah.
yeah, they're in their own little way. So you've got Guillermo,
Oh
who is the
yeah,
familiar.
yeah.
You have Nando the Conqueror, which is the taller
Nando.
one.
I love Nando. Nando's my
And you,
favorite.
Nando's cool. And
Yeah.
you got Laszlo. Laszlo. Naja, my darling. Yeah, watched it. It's good. What else have you been watching these days then? Anything good?
Um, no, because again, capacity wise,
Oh
don't really have
man, you've
much
been so
time.
capacity full.
Yeah.
I think do you ever
Oh,
do
I
you have
did
no
watch
time for you?
Traitors. I watched Traitors.
I've heard good things. I've never seen it
Yeah.
though.
I only watched the
No.
celebrity one, but I
Go on,
will
Bob.
go back and watch the other one now because it was good.
No. Do you make time for yourself during the day? Watch a little TV, a little glint time?
I find that TV, so there's different forms of relaxation. TV is kind of like
Okay.
mindless and definitely required,
Yeah.
but I don't find it fulfilling relaxation. Like it's not active
Yeah, got you.
relaxation, if that makes sense. So has its time
Yeah,
and
that makes sense.
place, but I no longer, maybe it's just
Mm.
like when I was a kid, I could watch it for hours, but I can no longer do that
Yeah, same.
without like feeling
No
bad or I don't know. So
guilt.
there's that, and then
Yeah,
probably,
there's guilt that comes with it.
yeah, probably like other forms of relaxation are reading, watching more intellectual stuff on YouTube and stuff. So a
Okay.
bit more
Nice.
thinking involved. And then there's
Nice.
meditation every now and again. There's kind of going for a walk without the intention of exercising. That's quite nice. And just noticing things.
Ooh. You gotta I feel like for exercise or walking, you've got to go out of your way and make time
Not for
for it.
like, so
Or is that just
what I've,
me?
yes, but what I've started to do is like think like a kid and also almost get fascinated with something
Like
small and
a kid.
puny. What?
Okay, like a worm on the floor.
Yeah, yeah. I go, oh, I wonder what type of worm that is, or like a beetle, or like a leaf, and you go,
Look
oh, I
how
wonder what
long it
leaf
is.
that is. What plants that come from? Or like, oh, that's a cool looking
Okay.
mushroom.
So do you use that and incorporate it in your walks?
Well, you end up not actually walking anywhere, as you do with kids, because they just get distracted constantly, and you just like have
Mm,
that mindset of going, oh yeah, I'll
like a
get
two-step.
interested as well.
Yeah,
There's no
true.
destination.
Kids do
It's
that a
just the
lot.
journey.
There's no. Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, but you still have to get out there in the first place. Getting out there is half the battle. Getting
Yeah,
the energy, putting your shoes on, mentally preparing yourself to go outside. I think it's the same as going to the gym. I find half the battle is getting out the door. Once I'm there, I'm having the best time.
true,
But mentally thinking, I've got to get my shoes on, got to do this. That's why I think pre workout works so well on many levels, not just the caffeine hit, but it's also the right. I've drunk this pre workout now. I've got to use it. I've got to get out, got to do stuff.
true.
Um, yeah.
That is
See, I don't
true.
go for walks these days. I used to go for walks all the
What
time. Not
what would you
anymore.
use? What would you use as a pre-workout to make friends?
Oh, it depends on many a different factor, Diglin. How old
Yeah.
am I? Is there alcohol involved? Where am I? Am I in a club? Am I outside? Am I outside a school or a church? Do I have to be responsible? Do I have to think straight? Give me some scenarios. Give me
So the
three
scenario
different
is
scenarios.
you
I want three
are
different separate ones.
you are feeling alone and isolated, and you don't live near your friends anymore.
Hmm.
So you've got like a list of a couple of clubs
Acquaintances?
you could go to, different
Would
community things you could go to,
I,
all of them in the day, maybe evening. None of them involve alcohol. Go.
would I? Do I have friends? Do I have friends to ask to come to these things?
No, no,
Do I have acquaintances that I can somewhat make friends with?
possibly, but I'm going to say
Possibly.
no.
Okay. Possibly. Okay, well, what I would do is I would probably work on my closest male, it didn't have to be male,
Yeah,
closest friend in work,
yeah,
see if they just want to hang out in
oh
a,
yeah,
maybe go and do some rock climbing, do something different, do something active where you don't necessarily have to talk as much.
Yeah.
or play pool, or even watch a film because I like films as well. Sue me, you know. I think that's the angle from that scenario. You know.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna take away the friends. I'm gonna take the work colleagues. You're a lone worker who works
Okay.
remotely with a team in Australia, so you can't
Oh,
see them. Go.
oh, that's a really good one. Okay.
Yeah.
Do I have pets? Have I got a dog? Because if I had a dog, I would go
No,
outside and walk my dog. Don't
no,
have a
no,
dog.
no, no. All you've got is a list of
Do I have a
clubs.
cat?
No, list of clubs and communities.
You're
How do you get
fixated on the.
yourself outside the door to go and
Okay,
give one of them a go?
I like it. I like it. Okay. I feel like at this point we're fixating on the clubs and the community things. Lots
Yeah,
of things on the internet. You've got Reddit. You've got different hobbies and activities. Are we excluding all of those things
it has to be in person, so you
in
can't.
person?
Yeah, we're probably
Okay.
exhausted the online, and it's
Have
still
we?
not making us feel fulfilled.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
Okay. In this scenario, would I be single?
yeah, ready to mingle.
So it would be a case of, am I trying to just make friends or
Well, you're up. You're up for
whatever,
whatever. If
whatever.
if something
If
blossoms in one of these clubs, but
well,
mainly it's just starting to create a community.
okay. So I think probably staying away from alcohol
That's
is
not an
probably the best.
option.
Not an
It's not
option.
an
So,
option.
so
No.
I have to have alcohol.
No, 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 no. You're not allowed alcohol. These are like clubs at
Yeah.
about
So I'm thinking
6, 7 p.m.
staying away from alcohol is probably best if you want to make a friend,
Yeah,
if I'm honest. It
yeah,
depends on the community group, I would say. Say if
yeah,
it's something where you've got to work together as a team, I think that's pretty good because
yeah.
you get to talk to people. I don't know. I've seen people do these things where they all sit around and paint ceramic stuff.
Oh
Seems
yeah.
pretty chilled. You're
Yeah,
just there. You can have a little chat. You can have a talk. There's a lot of different sort of reading groups out there. I
yeah,
think those are pretty good places where people can talk quite easily, as long as
yeah,
if you're a bit worried or nervous, you've got prompts, you've got a book, you can say your part from that book. I think something along those lines where you have something to talk about and it's non-threatening and you're pretty chilled, you know. Ideally, you want to stay away from anything that's overly stimulating, if that makes sense.
How'd you get how'd you get yourself out the door though? What's
Mm.
your pre-workout? Like what's the yeah, let's do this.
I myself personally have a few ways.
Go on then.
I sometimes listen to heavy metal music. I find that helps.
Interesting.
You know, it doesn't have to be heavy metal. It could be any sort of music, motivational
Yeah.
music that's
Nice.
quite uplifting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that certainly helps. Maybe even
Mm,
crack open a few press ups on the floor, get a
nice.
tiny pump. I feel like
Yeah.
I know it, as cringy as that sounds, it
Yeah.
definitely does help. You know,
Yeah.
I'm feeling the
No,
blood pumping, and I feel much better just after doing 10 or 20 press ups. Music's playing, feeling pretty positive. Out the door. You've got
do you
to
have like
mentally push yourself.
do you have like a go-to start of conversation that you'd use to mingle?
No, not really. I think it
No.
would depend on what the situation is and who the other person is. And usually, I think try not to overthink it. I think
Mm,
if you're worried about it and you're playing this over in your mind, that's gonna make
yeah,
things
true.
worse. You're gonna
Yeah.
be in your own head more than anything. Just like that old Nike advert, just do it. Remember the
Yeah.
tick? Just
Yeah.
do it. Just
True.
just do it. If I was really that lonely, what have you got to lose? Just go, just do it.
Have you ever gone out to like a meal, a pub, or somewhere like unconventionally single and just gone out for a meal on your own, or gone out for a drink on your own, or
Yeah,
like a cinema's I think okay these days, but maybe cinema as well. Have you ever
I've,
done that
I've,
on your own?
I've done the cinema before. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've done restaurants by myself before. I
yeah.
remember working with the digital switchover. They put us up in hotels around Wales,
Oh yeah,
and I used to have free food, which is pretty amazing in
yeah,
restaurants there. So I'd sit by myself. I wouldn't mind, to be honest. I
yeah,
don't care.
yeah.
What about you? Would you mind?
Well, I was thinking about one of my favorite memories this summer, and when you're saying making friends, I didn't make friends, but I went for a walk to a pub because we're camping in Pembrokeshire, and I just went for a walk to the pub, 'cause kids were busy doing something else, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go for a pint, and I I don't think I've ever done that before,
Just
so
by
I
yourself.
ended up just sat there, and before I knew it, I was chatting to a couple.
Nice.
And that's never really happened before. And then
Hmm.
I left them and I went to get some food and sat at another table. And believe it or not, I sat chatting to another couple. And it was really interesting conversations that
So
I've
popular.
never done before.
Do you know what? I think that comes with age, if I'm
Yeah,
honest. I think that's an age thing. It's a confidence and age thing.
yeah,
Yeah. I feel like I'd be happy to do that and I'd like to do that. But it's very rare that I get the opportunity to go for food by myself these days or a
yeah.
drink.
It's
Yeah.
like almost without the intention or the fear of, oh, I'm going to
Yeah.
go out and I'm lonely, so I
You've
really
got to
don't
get
want to
that fear
talk.
out of your head. You've got to
Yeah, I
get
just
all
started
those and not.
talking
You
to
just have to
people.
go, just have a fun time, just enjoy yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to give you the same scenario as well, but
Okay.
this time, you're exactly what you told me, but
Yeah.
there's alcohol involved. Would that
Okay.
change anything? Would you become?
Um, how much is this like a quiz night at a pub, or is this I'm in a
This is
nightclub and I'm bopping?
this is I would say you are having a quiz night at a pub, few drinks, then going to the club
Got
by
you.
yourself.
Have I met anyone before I go to the club, or am I
You
also
made
going
some
to the club on
friends.
my own?
You spoke to some people.
Okay.
You got along. You got along just fine. You don't know whether they're in the club or not. Who knows?
Because
Go.
I'm going to be honest, the idea of me going to a nightclub on my own, that
Yeah,
feels very foreign. Maybe I should try it, but I don't think that would.
yeah.
Just imagine me just, hey.
With the famous Glyn Point.
Yeah,
Mm, mm,
pointing up, getting the dance moves. I can't imagine me doing that. So I'm
mm.
glad I've made some acquaintances for that bit.
Okay.
The pub quiz night. Yeah, I think that's a cool. Because if you go to a pub quiz, then normally if it's like a local pub, then you're going to meet local people and
This is
maybe
a local place for local people. We'll have none of your sort here. There's
and
there's a
and
program, isn't there?
it is a program. I can't think of the name. Um, but I can imagine like there's an intro there of just like, oh, do you mind if I join your team?
It
And
is an
then
intro. It
yeah,
is. I feel like it's so much easier now, though, online. You know, the majority of people make friendships and relationships online now. Yeah. Is
yeah,
that just that? Yeah, I think that's a thing,
I think it's a thing. I feel like
isn't
it's
it?
either a thing or it's a thing that we think is a thing, and actually it's not
Maybe
really a thing.
because we were basically the last generation of people that had to make friends the old-fashioned way. You know,
Yeah, I still think that meeting people and
fundamentally,
purely
you
being online isn't going to be fully fulfilling.
no,
Even
exactly. And you,
I would say I'm I'm very happy being on my own. But even
mm,
I know the importance of talking to people and being part of a
yeah,
community
I think
every now and again.
I'm the same as you. I feel very happy on my own.
Yeah.
And I feel like the friendships you can make online are terrible friendships in the way
Yeah.
that you haven't got that connection. And it's isolating. It's isolating you more because you haven't got that community feeling.
Although maybe we're talking a bit of bullshit here, seeing as we're both talking to each other online.
Well, that's okay. We were friends before, and this is a good way to communicate.
I'm just imagining, if we're both playing a computer game
Fortnite.
and we're chatting like about
Yeah,
life and more in-depth stuff and getting to know each other, then
yeah, true. Yeah, that
maybe
would work.
you would get like you'd be able to share, get things off your chest. So yeah,
Mm.
I think I think online's
Yeah,
okay, but you still need an element of in person every now and again.
you do an element or two.
But that's real connection in it versus just people who you think are your friends when you're like
Yeah, I
following
kind of get a
someone.
buzz out of talking to people and making friendships and making those connections with people. I
Yeah,
really enjoy it. I think I wouldn't say I feel lonely, but I feel bored at times, and
yeah.
getting that small dopamine hit from making those connections with people is a fundamental thing in life that makes people happy,
Mm,
which you don't get necessarily from online digital media.
yeah, yeah. It is hard, but yeah, if you want
Have you
something
ever been in a
enough,
scenario where you want to talk to people, but you're just nervous in your own head and you can't say words properly?
again, as you said, it comes with age, doesn't it? I feel like that's a non-starter now. I don't really care. But in my youth, 100%. I can even imagine just starting jobs, even this job, that kind of
Yeah.
imposter syndrome of going, should I be here? Is this the right place?
And
Um,
right.
Wondering what you should and shouldn't say to start off
Yeah,
with, start relationships. So yeah, starting new, you can't be authentic. You can't be your full
you
true
can't, can you?
self straight away. You always have to
I think
like,
any sort of job, I feel like you've got to hold back a little bit.
well, any
You know, there's-
relationship you have to hold back because you're kind of like playing a bit of a dance, are you going, are you okay with this weirdness? Or are you okay
yeah,
with me liking this?
I feel like you've got to be yourself in any relationship.
But it comes, no way were you yourself straight away,
Yeah,
first
yeah,
meeting.
true.
It
Yeah,
builds.
yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess it's the same in work. It builds
Yeah,
over time. You put your guard down.
yeah.
Mm.
You have to be vulnerable
Ooh,
to allow other people to be vulnerable, and someone has to take that step
take that first step, the
to
big step,
being
rather than do it.
comfortable being vulnerable.
Okay, that'll be the title of this
Oh,
video.
no,
Being comfortable, being
sounds like a
vulnerable.
terrible. We can't make that into a t-shirt.
Yeah. Hey guys at home listening, if you can think of an excellent title for this video,
True.
then let me know in the comments. I know the video would probably be released with a different title, but I'm happy to change it if an awesome title name came on and I'd be inspired to change it.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'd like to also take this opportunity to thank the listeners for listening this far. And if you could subscribe as well, that would be great.
True. Should we call it a wrap there?
Would you like to finish it off with a some sort of mental moment, mindful moment?
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
have a think. Have a.
Something around friendship. How about we just
How about this?
silently?
How about
Okay.
you think back to your first friendship and how that made you feel, and then see if you can re-feel that feeling again somehow. How would you feel that same feeling of first making French back in the day? Because I remember
Joy.
feeling joy. Yeah, there's a lot of joy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just wholesomeness,
Yeah.
just happiness. Yeah,
Frolicking. Carefree
yeah.
frolicking.
Carefree, definitely, definitely carefree. That was a big one. Sorry, I'm taking you away from your mindful moment. You were going to mention something wonderful about linking it in to friendship and to community. Have
I
I
quite
put you on
like
the spot?
no, I quite like your thing, but again, spend a moment in silence just thinking about that feeling.
Okay.
Take a deep breath and just think about that feeling. Yeah, makes me smile.
It
Good,
makes me very
good memories.
nostalgic.
Yeah.
Very, very good memories, but sadness in a way. And
Mm,
the sadness comes from not having that feeling or not feeling it for a while.
mm,
It was a different kind of joy back then.
yeah.
It was a different happiness. Yeah. Somber,
Mm.
somber note to end on, but
Somber note to
with
end on. An
give us an
authentic,
uplifting. Yeah. Any last
authentic note.
uplifting thoughts before we go, Glenn?
Ah,
Give me something
no.
really motivational. Give me something that I can take with me throughout the week until next Thursday.
If you want to make friends, then you have the ability within you to go out and make real connections that you want in your life. And if you have connections that no longer serve you, you need to recognize those and feel empowered enough to walk away from those those
Mm.
relationships that no longer serve you.
Well, I think you've touched on a very poignant and deep note there. I know there's a lot of loneliness in the world, especially now with the digital age coming through. So, everyone who's listening at home, please know there is help out there. If you are feeling low or sad or lonely, I can be sure to link certain charities in the description. I'm sure Glyn will be able to tell me all the wonderful charities that he does know. So know that there's help out there for you.
Well, diolch yn fawr for turning into our 13th episode. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, leave a comment, leave a review, share it with your fellow parents, and we will be back next week with some stories about expecting twins. So I
We're
know until then,
gonna have a special guest.
we
Should we
are
tell them? Should we tell them, or is it too soon?
too soon. Just little teaser of twins there of the
Ooh,
feelings of
teaser.
becoming a dad of twins.
Guys, you're
So
not going to want to miss episode 14. It's going to be a huge one. We're going to have a
no.
special guest that we can't tell you. It involves twins as well, expecting twins. Oh, all that and much more coming up next.
The excitement. I love it.
Everyone, until
Diolch
next
yn
time.
fawr. A
What's up?
nos da.
No star. Oh, I pressed